Lake Fundudzi, the mysterious gem of the Horn of Africa. Located in the eastern part of Africa, Lake Fundudzi is one of the continent's natural gems. Its centuries-old history and unique natural environment have made it an object of interest for scientists and travelers from all over the world. The geography and location is also interesting. Lake Fundudzi is the deepest lake in Africa and the second deepest in the world after Lake Baikal. It is located in the Ethiopian highlands at an altitude of more than 1,800 meters and covers an area of about 144 square kilometers. The lake is surrounded by diverse flora and fauna and picturesque landscapes. The geology and formation of Lake Fundudzi began and ended as a result of tectonic movements and fractures in the Earth's crust. The majestic mountains around the lake testify to the history of the region spanning millions of years. Lake Fundudzi, which reaches a depth of over 27 meters, is connected by a network of rivers and streams and is an important source of water for the region. Lake Fundudzi is famous for its amazing biodiversity. It is home to unique species of fish found nowhere else, such as Ethiopian trout and barbel. Many birds, including flamingos and pelicans, make Lake Fundudzi their territory. The coastal forests are home to a variety of mammals, including monkeys and antelope. Environmental threats and protection measures. Despite its natural beauty, Lake Fundudzi is subject to various environmental threats. Deforestation, water pollution and climate change are affecting this unique ecological complex. To preserve the lake and its biodiversity, conservation and sustainable use programs are being implemented in Ethiopia. Cultural significance. Lake Fundudzi is not only of ecological value but also of cultural heritage. It is the site of various rituals and traditions for the local people. There are many legends and myths associated with the lake, which are part of the cultural heritage of the region. Lake Fundudzi is an amazing natural phenomenon that embodies the richness and beauty of African nature. Today, the lake is the focus of scientists and environmentalists who want to ensure its protection for future generations. Despite its importance and beauty, Lake Fundudzi faces a number of serious challenges that require urgent action. One of the main challenges is climate change, which is contributing to an uncontrolled rise in water levels and disruption of the natural ecosystem. Soil erosion and degradation of water resources are also contributing to the deterioration of the environmental situation in the region. Lake Fundudzi plays an important role in the livelihood of the local population as a source of drinking and agricultural water. However, uncontrolled development of water resources and unsustainable agricultural practices can lead to the depletion of the lake and deterioration of water quality. Fundudzi is famous for its unique topography and crystal clear water, making it one of the most beautiful natural sites in East Africa. Here are some of the features of Lake Fundudzi's water. The water of Lake Fundudzi is known for its transparency. Due to its high transparency, the bottom of the lake can be seen at considerable depths. This feature makes the lake particularly attractive to tourists and snorkelers. Depending on the light and time of day, the color of the water in Lake Fundudzi varies from deep blue to emerald and turquoise. This color spectrum creates spectacular views and unique reflections on the surface of the water. The water temperature in Lake Fundudzi varies with the seasons and fluctuates in different parts of the lake. Generally, the water temperature is maintained at a level ranging from pleasantly warm to cold depending on the time of year. Lake Fundudzi is a freshwater lake. Its low salinity is suitable for freshwater organisms and ideal for various fish species. Lake Fundudzi is home to many species of fish, including cichlids and catfish. The richness of the aquatic fauna creates a complex ecosystem in which fish, vegetation and other animals interact. Along the shores and in parts of the lake, aquatic plants such as reeds, lilies and water lilies grow. These plants help to maintain biodiversity and ecosystems. The water from Lake Fundudzi is used by the local population for drinking and domestic purposes. However, despite the apparent purity of the water, it is necessary to regularly analyze its quality in order to maintain the quality of drinking water. In recent years, human activities such as agriculture, tourism and industry can affect the water quality of lakes. Rational use of resources is important for the conservation of nature around Lake Fundudzi. Lake Fundudzi water quality studies are important for maintaining the health of the ecosystem and ensuring sustainable water use in the area, and are frequently conducted. Regarding research and education, ongoing research and education programs are necessary for effective management and conservation of Lake Fundudzi. Scientists from different countries are working together to monitor the lake's ecosystem, study climate change, and develop sustainable ways to utilize natural resources. Educational programs at the local level are aimed at raising awareness among local people about the importance of lake conservation and their role in this process. This includes teaching sustainable agriculture, industrial fishing and responsible use of water resources. Lake Fundudzi is becoming an increasingly popular tourist destination attracting nature lovers and travelers. However, sustainable tourism is becoming an important component of natural resource protection. Local authorities and community organizations should develop sustainable tourism strategies to minimize the negative impacts of tourism activities on local natural and cultural heritage. Lake Fundudzi is not only a beautiful natural site, but also an important ecosystem element of significance to local communities and the continent as a whole. Through conservation efforts, sustainable resource utilization and educational development, the long-term well-being of Lake Fundudzi and its natural environment can be ensured. According to the legend of the Venda, or Bavenda, people, the lake was created when a passing leper was denied food and shelter. The Venda claim that early in the morning they hear the sounds of drums and the mooing of drowned people and cattle. Also, according to legends, Lake Fundudzi is also protected by a python god who lives in the mountains. In honor of this deity, the Venda people annually perform a teenage dance in the form of a wriggling snake, chain, dancer, in which teenage girls of the tribe participate. According to beliefs, the fullness of the lake and the color of the water determine the mood of the ancestors and the likelihood of rain. In 1955, Professor Henry Burnside and his comrade Thacker filled bottles and flasks with lake water on the shore of a lake. The next day, the water disappeared from the sealed containers, and the phenomenon was repeated the following day. The professor and his friend Tucker died after drinking the lake water. This story is an urban legend and has no verified facts. Lake Fundudzi holds many secrets and mysteries. In addition to its natural beauty, Lake Fundudzi is shrouded in an aura of mystery that attracts the attention of explorers and travelers. Many legends and myths about the origin of the lake are passed down in local communities. Some believe that the lake is a gift from the gods, while others speak of water spirits dwelling in its depths. These legends bring a mystical element to the culture and history of the region. Also, the deep waters of Lake Fundudzi arouse interest and imagination, suggesting the presence of underwater life unknown to science. Research conducted in the lake has led to the discovery of new species of fish, but the mysteries of the underwater world remain. Archaeological finds have been made on the shores of the lake and in its vicinity, indicating that the area was inhabited by people long before our era. Ancient artifacts and remains of temples add to the mystery of this unique place. Lake Fundudzi has also attracted the attention of researchers because of its climate. Its location in a mountainous area at high altitude brings an element of mystery, as the weather changes rapidly and unpredictably. Lake Fundudzi is a migratory destination for many bird species. Thousands of flamingos and other birds come here from all over the world, creating a spectacular sight. This annual phenomenon raises the question of how birds find such a remote lake. The mystery of Lake Fundudzi lies not only in its physical characteristics, but also in the rich cultural and natural history of this fascinating corner of Africa. These mysteries continue to inspire researchers and create an air of mystery around this unique body of water. The mysterious legends of Lake Fundudzi. There are many local legends about the origin of Lake Fundudzi. According to one local legend, Lake Fundudzi was born from the tears of a goddess left alone in the mountains after the death of her lover. It is believed that the deep waters of the lake are the tears of the goddess, and the shores of the lake are her embrace. In addition to legends about birth, there are many legends in general about the lake, in general. For example, the myth of the water spirits. This legend tells of a water spirit living in the depths of the lake. Locals believe that this spirit protects the essence of water and all living things, and that respecting it will bring prosperity. Apart from neutral myths, there are also terrifying myths like the curse of the ancient temple. Ancient temples have been discovered on the shores of the lakes, and their study has given rise to legends of curses. It is said that those who violate the sanctity of these places will bear the burden of the ancient gods whose temples have been forgotten by time. There are also legends of underwater treasures. It is believed that at the bottom of the lake there are jewels and treasures hidden in prehistoric times. Local fishermen say that during night fishing one can hear mysterious lights and strange sounds. Another legend tells of a messenger bird. Many locals believe that flamingos flying over the lake at certain times of the year are messengers from another world. It is believed that the flight of the flamingo brings changes in the fortunes of the region, bringing blessings or warnings. The next legend connects the lake with a vanished civilization. Locals say that towns that drowned during floods sank to the bottom of the lake and became symbols of mystical stories from the past. These legends give Lake Fundudzi an air of beauty and mystery, arousing the interest and imagination of those who explore the mysterious lake shore. These legends reflect the rich cultural and religious traditions of the local people and add to the mystery of this unique place. Prophecy about the future is also of genuine interest. There is a legend about a sage who lived on the shores of Lake Fundudzi. According to the legend, he was a seer and could predict the future. The local people sought his advice, and his predictions became part of popular wisdom. Locals also claim that the waters of Lake Fundudzi have healing properties. According to legend, a dip in the holy water cures illnesses and protects against calamities. There are also legends of lost and found objects left behind by unknown civilizations. While rafting on lakes, strange shapes sometimes appear in the water, and the origin and purpose of these relics are questioned. It is believed that at certain moments in time and space, Lake Fundudzi is a place where the boundaries of the world cease to exist. People talk about strange phenomena and sounds coming from the bottom of the lake, as if they were communicating with another dimension. According to mythology, at the bottom of the lake there is an underground labyrinth leading to ancient temples and mysterious places. These labyrinths are a proving ground for those seeking ancient secrets and wisdom. The legend of Lake Fundudzi gives this amazing place an extra layer of mystery, stimulating the imagination of explorers, travelers and locals. Legends have become part of the region's cultural richness, intertwining with reality and creating a unique mystical atmosphere around this majestic body of water. Lake Fundudzi is beautiful and mysterious, but there are also legends and stories shrouded in dark shadows and secrets. Here are some of the scary stories associated with this mysterious body of water. According to legend, there is a sunken city under Lake Fundudzi, and its inhabitants are ghosts that roam the bottom of the lake. Local fishermen say they sometimes hear their moans and see their shadows underwater. There is also a myth that the waters of Lake Fundudzi have the magical power to attract treasure. Many people have died trying to find the treasure sunken at the bottom of the lake. According to legend, their souls remain in the vicinity of the lake, seeking revenge on those who disturb their peace. On the shores of the lake are the ruins of ancient temples, and according to legend, the ghosts of priests roam these ruins. According to the stories, they are destined to serve God in the afterlife, and they curse those who disturb the peace of their shrines. Strange disappearances have been occurring in the vicinity of Lake Fundudzi. Legend has it that the fog that suddenly forms over the lake sometimes brings with it sinister forces, causing those who dare to approach to disappear. Fishermen and locals tell of mysterious screams coming from the bottom of the lake. On cloudy nights, whispers can be heard inviting those who try to jump into the dark waters where unspeakable horrors await. These scary stories give Lake Fundudzi a mysterious aura, creating an unknown and frightening atmosphere, adorning its bright shores and dark waters with mystery and mystery. Another one of the interesting stories is the ghost story. Legend has it that a mythical ship was wrecked on Lake Fundudzi during a storm. It is said that the ghosts of the sailors who died in this tragedy appear at night to those who try to anchor in this lake. Some say that on quiet nights they hear the mysterious chants of a siren who curses the lake with her sad song. Those who succumb to her magic risk being drawn into the waters of the lake and disappearing forever. According to some legends, a certain part of Lake Fundudzi is a gateway to another dimension. The depths may be the gateway to a mysterious world where time and space obey different laws. The forest adjacent to the lake symbolizes dark forces in the legend. Locals tell of mysterious creatures lurking in the depths of the forest and warn against walking at night. There are stories that Lake Fundudzi is a trap for those who get lost in its vicinity. At night, mysterious luminous creatures lure travelers into the dark forest, where unknown dangers await them. These scary stories create an atmosphere of mystery and unease around Lake Fundudzi, warning people of its mysterious secrets and natural depths. Strange disappearances have been occurring at Lake Fundudzi. There have been several cases of travelers and fishermen disappearing without a trace, leaving only mysterious footprints. Locals also tell of places where mysterious whirlpools form in the lake. These whirlpools are considered dangerous and are often associated with legends of evil spirits that drag people into the depths of the dark waters. There are legends about the ghosts of shipwrecked sailors who died on the lake. Witnesses sometimes see silhouettes of ships floating on the surface of the lake at night. Locals also claim that at night they hear strange voices and whispers coming from the bottom of the lake and feel the presence of mystical visions and unholy forces. Over the centuries, a series of unexplained catastrophes have occurred around the lake. Some attribute these accidents to mystical forces descending on those who desecrate the sanctity of the lake. The area around the lake is known to suddenly become impassable from time to time due to thick fog. This fog is like a veil of mystical power and, according to legend, can cause people to lose their sense of direction and even go missing. A number of archaeological findings related to ancient temples on the shores of the lake are associated with unexplained phenomena. Local residents believe that the temples are cursed and that violating their shrines will lead to mysterious consequences. These eerie facts give Lake Fundudzi an aura of mysticism and mystery, stimulating imagination and respect for its secrets and dangers. Often reported by locals, strange ghostly lights are sometimes seen over Lake Fundudzi at night. According to eyewitnesses, these ghostly lights move along the surface of the water like ghosts, urging the brave to come to the surface. As said, there is a legend of a siren that lives at the bottom of the lake. According to the locals, her singing voice can mesmerize people and lure them into the waters where unknown terrors await them. It is believed that the siren's curse is responsible for many disappearances. Many residents say that under the surface of Lake Fundudzi there are sometimes strange sounds that cause joy and fear to those who hear them. Locals believe that these sounds are the presence of spirits or communication with other dimensions. Travelers have disappeared in areas of the lake where the water appears to be darkest and deepest. Eyewitnesses claim to have seen dark shadows gliding across the water, like sinister figures waiting for their prey. Often unexplained, mysterious footprints are sometimes found on the shores of lakes. These may be unexplained geometric patterns or strange fingerprints that give Lake Fundudzi an added mystery. Some travelers report that they have recurring nightmares after visiting Lake Fundudzi. It is as if the ghosts of the past have left traces in the subconscious of those who try to break the mystery of Lake Fundudzi. These spooky facts and mysteries associated with Lake Fundudzi give the place an air of mystery and fear, and make you wonder about its unfathomable secrets and potential dangers. Lake Fundudzi has a rich history. Due to its rich history, Lake Fundudzi plays an important role in the culture and development of the region. The following are historical facts about Lake Fundudzi. Archaeological finds on the shores of the lake indicate that the area has been inhabited since ancient times. Ancient temples found near the lake testify to the spiritual and cultural activities of the area. Remains of ancient temples and religious buildings have been discovered in the vicinity of Lake Fundudzi. These findings indicate that the site had religious significance for the ancient community and was used for various religious ceremonies. Archaeologists have also found various artifacts around the lake, including pottery, tools, jewelry and other items related to the daily life of the ancient community. These findings have helped reconstruct the lifestyle and culture of the ancient people. Shipwrecks and wrecks can be found in some parts of the lake, which are also of archaeological interest. Such finds can provide information about trade routes and means of communication and transportation in ancient times. There are also sites around the lake where ancient communities have left petroglyphs and drawings on the rocks. These man-made drawings can provide clues to understanding ancient rituals, religious beliefs and historical events. Archaeological research in the Lake District may also include the discovery of ancient settlements, which may give scientists a better understanding of the communities that occupied the area at different times in history. These archaeological finds help provide a picture of the area's rich history and reveal the cultural heritage and influences that have shaped the community over the centuries. Lake Fundudzi is believed to be surrounded by historically significant sites associated with ancient civilizations. Excavations allow scientists to gain a deep insight into the lifestyles and customs of the ancient inhabitants of the region. The area around Lake Fundudzi in East Africa is a historically important region inhabited by various ethnic groups. Ancient communities may have hunted, fished and farmed, adapting to the natural resources of the lake. Near Lake Fundudzi there were trade routes that connected different cultures and civilizations. Trade may have been a means of exchanging technology, ideas, art and other cultural aspects between different communities. Lakes, as natural phenomena, may have played an important role in the religious practices of ancient communities. Ancient temples and sanctuaries found around lakes may have served as places of religious ceremonies and worship. Various archaeological finds, including architectural structures, pottery, and other artifacts, provide insight into what architectural styles were used by ancient civilizations in the region. If ancient communities were agricultural, the archaeological finds may reflect elements associated with an ancient rural lifestyle, such as traces of agricultural implements and vegetable gardens. In a historical context, Lake Fundudzi was part of an important trade route. Due to its location, it has been a center of exchange of goods and culture between different ethnic groups for centuries. A number of studies indicate that the vicinity of Lake Fundudzi may have been the site of the origin and development of ancient civilizations. Ancient peoples probably utilized the lake's rich natural resources for survival and prosperity. Lake Fundudzi is woven into the cultural practices of local communities. Water rituals are often performed as a sign of reverence for the lake, and its waters have special significance in religious and cultural rituals. The cultural practices around Lake Fundudzi are rich and varied and are linked to the history and traditions of different ethnic groups. Some of the cultural practices associated with Lake Fundudzi are presented here. For example, religious rituals and ceremonies. Thus, Lake Fundudzi was probably the site of various religious rituals and ceremonies. Many communities around the lake may have used its waters for bathing and other religious rituals. The natural elements around the lake, such as water, fish and plants, may have played an important role in nature worship rituals. These include prayers, sacrifices and other rituals. Fishing on Lake Fundudzi is probably an integral part of the culture of the local population. Traditional fishing methods passed down from generation to generation may have been part of the cultural heritage. Cultural traditions included music and dance. Famous events such as festivals and religious ceremonies could be accompanied by traditional melodies, songs and dances. If agriculture was practiced in the area, cultural practices may have included sowing and harvesting rituals. These rituals may be accompanied by traditional songs and dances. Different communities may have held religious festivals in honor of sacred sites associated with the lake. Such festivals brought people together and strengthened community ties. Stories, legends and myths about Lake Fundudzi may have been passed down orally from generation to generation. This was a means of preserving cultural stories and important events. Lake Fundudzi may have been a sacred place visited by believers as part of a religious pilgrimage. Cultural practices may have included traditional natural resource management to preserve a lake ecosystem for future generations. These Lake Fundudzi cultural practices have evolved over the centuries and are still an important part of community life today. More information can be obtained by carrying out a detailed survey of the area. Lake Fundudzi is a source of inspiration for artists, writers and musicians. For centuries, its beauty and mystery have influenced local artistic traditions and created a rich cultural landscape. Individual artists and artisans can utilize the lake's natural resources to create unique works of art and craft. Lake Fundudzi can be the subject of photo exhibitions reflecting its diversity and significance in the cultural and natural context. By reflecting on the beauty of the lake, Many artists can be inspired to create artwork that addresses environmental issues and conservation. The lake is an important migratory point for many bird species and an important research site for ornithologists and ecologists. Many birds migrate from great distances, creating a unique spectacle and having an important impact on the ecosystem. Lake Fundudzi became a center of trade with neighboring regions. Fishing, handicrafts and other resources around the lake allowed the exchange of goods and stimulated trade relations. Many tribes living around Lake Fundudzi depended on the lake's water and its abundant nature for their food and water needs. The lake played an important role in providing vital resources for the survival and development of local communities. On the shores of Lake Fundudzi there are places of worship and shrines that have deep religious significance for local communities. These places have become centers of prayer, ritual and spiritual practice. The cult sites and shrines around Lake Fundudzi play an important role in the spiritual practices and cultural identity of the local people. These places are often associated with religious rituals, legends and traditions. Here are some of the famous places of worship and shrines around Lake Fundudzi. In the vicinity of Lake Fundudzi there may be temples and prayer places where believers gather for religious ceremonies, prayers and meditations. These places are especially important during religious festivals. Rocks and cliffs with religious significance can also be found on the shores of the lake. The cliffs may have carvings, petroglyphs or other symbols and are objects of worship. Some trees and plants may be considered sacred. Devotees may come to these places to perform rituals related to nature. Cult fires and lighthouses were probably used to mark religious ceremonies and sacred sites. Fire may symbolize spiritual radiance and inner purity. Some places may be associated with funerary rituals and religious burials. Rituals to honor ancestors may be held here. The area around the lake is sometimes used for religious festivals and celebrations. On such occasions, people from different communities come here to celebrate important events. Springs and waterfalls near the lake are sacred places. The water from them is used for religious purification rituals. Caves can be places of cult significance, where religious rituals and meditations take place. They may also be associated with legends and myths. Altars and sacred tables may have been set up on the shore of a lake for religious ceremonies and sacrifices. Stone structures such as obelisks and steles were used to mark sacred sites and may represent a symbolic connection to spiritual forces. These places of worship and shrines play an important role in the life of the community, strengthening its spiritual ties and emphasizing the importance of Lake Fundudzi and its religious and cultural traditions. Throughout history, Lake Fundudzi has witnessed environmental changes. By studying these changes, scientists can better understand the impact of human and natural factors on the reservoir's ecosystem. The exploration and development of the area around Lake Fundudzi contributed to the historical process of settlement and the formation of modern man. Different ethnic groups have left their mark on culture and customs through their interaction with the lake's nature. Lake Fundudzi has been the subject of scientific research in the fields of geology, ecology, history and archaeology. Scientists have studied the lake shore, its bed and water resources to increase knowledge of the past and present of this unique body of water. These historical facts emphasize the important role of Lake Fundudzi in the lives of the local people, its influence on trade and culture, and its significance for scientific research and conservation. Studies of Lake Fundudzi have been and are still being conducted to investigate its ecology, geological history, archaeological findings, and other aspects affecting natural and human activities in the area. These studies are important for understanding the biodiversity, climate change and cultural aspects associated with Lake Fundudzi. Some of the research areas are summarized below. Ecologists study the diversity of plant and animal species in Lake Fundudzi and their interaction with the environment. This includes analyzing water quality, lake bed composition, flora and fauna, various aspects of the lake's aquatic biology, including the effects of water temperature, plankton, fish, and other aquatic organisms on the ecosystem, have also been and are being intensively studied. Lake Fundudzi is part of the climate system of the region and is analyzed in terms of climate change and its impact on the aquatic systems and vegetation around the lake. The geological structure and origin of Lake Fundudzi is being studied in depth. These studies include stratigraphy, seismic activity and other geological aspects. Many archaeological studies focus on discovering historical artifacts and ancient settlements around the lake. This helps to reconstruct the history of settlement of the area and the interaction between ancient communities and the lake. Studies of economic activities in the area subtly analyze aspects related to the use of Lake Fundudzi resources in fishing, tourism and other economic activities. The impact of Lake Fundudzi on the culture and lifestyle of the local people is also being studied. This includes analyzing traditions, rituals, religious practices and other cultural aspects associated with the lake. Climate and weather studies are also underway in the region to understand the impact of seasonal changes and weather on the ecosystem and to provide data for forecasting. Future research will contribute to a better understanding of Lake Fundudzi and its role in the ecosystem and society, as well as to the formulation of measures to preserve the natural and cultural heritage around the lake. Lake Fundudzi's history is closely linked to the region's history, cultural traditions and environmental impact, making it an important part of Africa's rich heritage. Thanks for watching, my friend. Don't forget to watch our other videos and learn new mysteries of the universe. We have a lot more interesting things in store for you.